Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Stupid as being nice.
Huh? It's a house!
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working. Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you just have cabbage for brains? You know, that's just one step above stupid. There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
What's going on, freakazoids? There I am, right there in the middle of the screen. I think that's better over there. Wait. I go like that. There you go. How do you go over there? Alright. Yeah, psychics have nothing to do with it, okay? Psychics have nothing to do with anything. What a good psychic does is they watch a show like mine that uses reason and common sense and then pretends that they derived the information from, you know, some alternate source, like ghosts, okay? I mean, they didn't say anything differently than any, you know, if they did say it, because apparently she was found near here. This is the very first place we looked at when we did the show. We were looking around going... But I was thinking to myself, well, they checked right there. I mean, of course, right? But apparently she was found in this mulch area, you know, somewhere underneath some, like tall grass. Somewhere over there. All right? And, you know, the thing is, we don't know, I guess, you know, when they're showing these dash cam videos and she's wearing the clothing, it's possible that that this person there was her, because there aren't very many cameras right there. One thing that was interesting to me, though, yesterday was why didn't it hit this camera right there? Because there is a camera on that house. And so I guess we don't know still. Let's see, like if you look right there. Yeah, right there. I mean, that's an absolutely a Ring doorbell camera right there. See that? And so that one didn't pick her up, which is interesting. And then I think we're back to, you know, perhaps, well, hell, I guess we didn't even notice this one. Look at that. There's this, I mean, right at her house. And that would explain why she never... I'm just throwing this ahead, giving you, like, I'm just thinking right now because that's what I want to do. I didn't even look right there. That's crazy that one's right there. Look at that, literally at her house. What does it look like from back here? Ah, man, I'd like to see, because I think she could have just walked right along that fence line there, and then look, you're right into this area over here. Immediately at her house. So that might explain why she's not on any surveillance. She wasn't on this camera that's at that house. She wasn't on this camera right here. And then maybe this one walking here wasn't her, you know, even though the person was dressed exactly how they were described. And then, but, you know, maybe that was her and she went walking up like this. But I mean, I don't know. I think if you're committed to take your life like she was, you're not wasting time walking around in loops. You know, you're just kind of immediately heading over there. But man, I didn't even see that till just now. This one right there. There is one over here that Bad Juju was talking about. And then there's a whole bunch of one, you know, like this one goes out there. I was talking about this one over here the other day. I didn't realize that every single street had those. But hey, guys, if you have the ability to help support the channel, that would be fantastic. Maybe become a channel member, hit the like button, share the video, etc. We have today is our final day until our donation night. We've already given out $2,000 this month so far. Hoping to give out another $1,500 to maybe 2,000 tomorrow. I guess it kind of just depends on how well we do or whatever. But we haven't had great donation nights lately, so we'll have to see how it goes. Yeah, psychics are a pile of shit, you guys. And you know, listen, don't believe in psychics. They are fake. All right. The people that come out and tell you that, oh, look what I figured out. How good of a psychic would I be, you guys? People that watch my channel, what if I pretended that the thoughts that I'm having came from the ether out there? Ooh, it's ghosts and the spirit world are telling me stuff. Oh my God, I would be so good. I would be incredible. Because we are so accurate here, it's unbelievable. But you know what we're using? Logic, reason, and common sense. That's what we use. And so a good psychic, with quotes around it, would be somebody who looks at a case and goes, this makes sense. This makes sense right here. Yep, that makes sense. And then they pretend that they got it from another world. All right? It's just crazy. Ridiculous stuff. And I'm sorry if you believe in that. I'm not going to change my mind. The best 4 months of your life? What do you mean? What happened? Hey, cool. Thanks for being a member. But yeah, I could use you guys' support. Maybe somebody out there wants to do a challenge of some sort. That'd be great. All right. Yeah, but look at all these cameras that I identified. And not one of them were set off. So then I thought maybe she went like this if she left the area. But we actually thought maybe she exited over there and headed over to this huge park over here somewhere. But apparently that's not what she did. The first show we talked about, I kind of zoomed in over here looking at it. But I mean, I'm just thinking, okay, there's no way they didn't check that already. And apparently they did check it once, but they went back over it again. Yeah, somewhere like there's some tall grass area. Let me see if I can... But man, it's just so shitty. You got this really, I mean, absolutely beautiful girl that was, you know, but there was a whole bunch of things that were sort of accumulating in her life right at this time, and kind of created some, you know, made her very depressed. Yeah, it's such a. I mean, I knew my neighbor when I was a kid. I think his name was Pat Murphy. He was. We shared a driveway. Like we had you go up this driveway, and our house was first on the left, and then his was further back. You know, and they had this. They were there, and then you know I think basically the same grade. And then in college, he broke up with his girlfriend, and he shot himself. Just. You know, it's like, my God, you know. I mean, I know everybody knows that feeling, right? When you you break up with somebody or whatever. You have that feeling of dread, like, you know, how are you going to make it through the next hours? But you can, you know. Hey, thanks so much up there to Adrian Blank. Look at that, 61 months of lame talling. All right, let's get to the... I'm going to... There was a press conference earlier, kind of an impromptu one. I'm just seeing if I can get it downloaded better. And then there was this live feed that was happening just recently, too. Maybe we can skim through that. Okay, there's that one. A second. I like to fix the audio. I don't like it when it comes out of one side. That's still... man. That sucks. Yeah, it comes out of one side, but maybe I'll just move it forward.
We've spent the last several days looking for Camila. And the update that we have today is that we just recently, about 4:45, found a body in the field nearby.
Can you guys hear that?
Here.
It's only coming out of one side.
At this point, it's too early to tell. Is everybody ready? Good afternoon. I'm here to provide latest update on this case. As you know, we've spent the last several days looking for Camila. And the update that we have today is that we just recently, about 4:45, found a body in the field nearby here. At this point, it's too early to tell if the...
Hey, thanks, Chris O'Connell. When I discovered Gray years ago, my life was changed for the better. Hey, well, that was a nice thing to say. Wow, I'll send you some gift basket later. Thank you.
Body that we found is that of Camila, but at this point we don't suspect foul play. As you all know, one of the possibilities that we were working under was the fear of self-harm. And at this point, there are some indicators that the body that we found may be as a result of that. Obviously the medical examiner will have to make definitive identification, and we'll have to provide cause and manner of death. But as of now, we're processing the scene, and we hope to have more information to release as soon as we're able. The area in question is probably about, I'd say, as the crow flies, about a quarter of a mile from here, and probably a few hundred yards from her actual residence. It's an area very, very close to here. This afternoon, it was the folks that found the body it was a joint team comprised of BCSO and FBI. Incidentally, the FBI has been great partners in this investigation. Up to this point, they'd been really helping with intel work and processing digital evidence, but today they actually sent us basically a small army of agents that actually helped with boots on the ground work, and we actually this afternoon made a conscious decision to go back to an area that had already been checked, but due to tall grass, we felt that...
Yeah, so they made a conscious decision to go back to an area that's already been checked. Where do the psychics come in? Yeah, I don't understand that.
There would be a benefit to checking the area once again.
Hey, thanks,
and
Chris.
As I mentioned, probably about 10 minutes into that search, the body was found. And again, too early to tell who or a cause and manner, but we do have a body at this point. Esta tarde voy a dar más información tocante este caso que nosotros hemos andado investigando por varios días. Como ustedes saben, hemos andado buscando a Camila. Esta tarde, un equipo de oficiales con mi agente.
Hey, look at that. There's Notorious Nance. How the hell are you doing? 71 months. Look at that. What is that? 12 times 5 is 60. That's almost 6 years, isn't it? I think that's a record. How are you doing, by the way? Notorious Nance. Good to see you. Hope you're feeling better or things are going well.
Agencia, pero también agentes federales con el FBI fueron trabajando juntos. Ellos descubrieron un cuerpo. Ahorita es muy temprano para decir quién es este cuerpo o la manera de fallecer, pero sí se sabe que es un cuerpo. Ahorita no sospechamos homicidio, sino que ahorita estamos tratando de averiguar obviamente quién es esta persona y cómo fallecieron. El área, la escena donde está el cuerpo ahorita está cerca.
No, I didn't see what was the video of her mother after she found out, you mean? Something like that? Yeah.
Aproximadamente cuarto de milla de aquí y cerca de la casa donde...
Well, send me the link to that. I don't know if you guys want to see it, but I want to see what they did.
Donde vivía Camila. Ahorita estamos procesando la escena, estamos esperando al médico forénsico.
What do you mean it just happened? This is from a long time ago, this video right here.
Para que nos digan quién es la persona y cómo fallecieron. I'll go ahead and give you a recap. So this afternoon about 4:40, 4:45, a joint team comprised of BCSO deputies and FBI agents were conducting an open field search of a field where we had already checked once before, but due to
such a cool person.
High brush, we made a conscious decision to head back out there and check again. They found what we believe to be a body at this point. It's too early to tell who the body is or cause and manner of death. The medical examiner will be making both of those determinations, but we hope that we can try to expedite that process to be able to get the community answers that everybody's been waiting for. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
This is ABC 7, Chicago.
During the course of the investigation, we developed some information that there may have been some suicidal ideations on Camila's part before, some signs of depression, undiagnosed as far as we can tell, but from what's being described to us, it sounds like it was a young person going through a very tough time in their life and going through.
Looks like it really kind of hit him pretty hard there.
Some emotional issues, and there was some indicators of suicidal ideations as well.
Sir, el cuerpo de la persona que se encontraba es un número uno.
Ahorita no se sabe, no podemos decir.
What kind of, any obvious injuries to the body?
No, at this point, no. I mean, I can tell you that we found a firearm very near the body. And in this particular case, we were actually looking for a firearm as well that had come up missing.
You guys watch other things.
Did that firearm belong to a relative?
It was a family member's firearm, yes.
Yeah, so they located a firearm right next to her, and it was a family member's firearm. Now, people mention, hey, maybe she had a gun or something, but I don't know if that's her car, right, that she was looking in. So I don't think she had the gun in her car. It seems like it would be in the house. So I don't know what she was looking for in the car, but who the hell knows, right?
I know we didn't have any surveillance or any.
And maybe that's why they were pretty sure, like it was a mental thing because a gun was missing, and they thought, okay, so that's why they kept pushing that. That's why I always wish people would sort of trust a little bit more what law enforcement is feeding. They're not always right, but I would, I'd give them 80, whenever they're giving you information about stuff like that, it's usually pretty accurate, like 80% of the time, unless something directs you into a different direction than what they're saying, then you just kind of go with what they're saying. Like it doesn't really matter if the person walking on the dash cam was her or not now. At the time, it was, could indicate the direction she was moving. We don't know, but it's sort of interesting how she only is on one surveillance camera. And then for her to get to the street over there, which we talked about yesterday, she should have passed a few more cameras. So I don't know why those cameras. Remember me talking about that? No, it's not an eye stop gone wrong. It might be your brain gone wrong, though, for sure. Definitely that's possible.
No, I mean the last video we put out yesterday was a video from somebody's dash cam that had seen somebody matching the description that we had put out on social media that day. At this point, we're still not 100% that the person in that video is Camila. Although the clothing description did match, we received several different kinds of clothing description of clothing she could be wearing at the time. And so at this point, it's too early to tell if this is actually her, but we're operating on that distinct premise.
And okay, I want to say something else. Remember the other case of the girl that was missing that was 17? They actually communicated she was an African American or black woman. Yeah, 17 years old. I don't think you call her a woman, but a young or older teenager. She was 17. They got a hold of her, talked to her, and she chose to be where she's at. She might be coming back. All right. Yeah, the Genelea Reyes. That's not, has nothing to do with anything. Oh, jeez. All right. She's been contacted, and this one's not related to that one. And there's a 14-year-old that's missing, and she's not going to be related to either of these two either. All right. So, 14-year-old girls run away all the time. That age particularly. I don't know what it is, but it seems like that age, girls and boys actually run away at that age. And so wherever the 14-year-old is, it's not related to Camila.
Pues quisiéramos pedir más videos de la comunidad. Obviamente el video de ayer ojalá nos ayudó un poco, pero también se sabe que el área donde ella fue encontrada o el cuerpo fue encontrado, está cerca de la casa. Es posible.
What psychics do is listen to shows like mine, and then they go around and pretend that they thought of it themselves, and it came to them. That's what they do.
Que si es ella, ella pudiera haber cruzado a ese punto sin cámaras verla a esa hora también. Yes, the area where the body was...
Well, they don't even have reason and common sense. They listen to... Why do psychics show... Let me ask you guys this. Why do psychics show up on YouTube videos in the chat room? Can anybody answer that question? Shouldn't they already know the answer? Instead, they're sitting there listening to the developments going, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, yeah. And then they go and pretend. Here, also, here's a good test to do. Go up to, the next time you go to a psychic, knock on the door, and if they say, who's there, say, you should have known, and then walk away. All right? Because they should have known your name. They should have known who knocked because they're psychics, right? But hey, guys, if you're out there, if you could please help support the channel. We're back on one of those massive lulls. We need some more channel memberships, and we need a good night tonight leading into tomorrow. So if you have the ability to help support the channel, we only have one gifted membership. Yeah, knock on the door. Who is it? You fraud.
Was found is very close to Camila's home. And it's quite possible that based upon the canvassing that we did, not every house had camera footage or cameras. So it is possible that at that time of the day, on that day, she may have made it out to that area without going across any cameras. So it's possible.
Let's listen to that again.
No, dispense. Es ver Camila's home. And it's quite verla a esa hora también. Yes, the area where the body was found is very close to Camila's home. And it's quite possible that based upon the canvassing that we did, not every house had camera footage or cameras. So it is possible that at that time of the day, on that day, she may have made it out to that area without going across any cameras. So it's possible.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're looking at. Look at this thing. I don't know why I didn't see it. Why would you think that would even be there? But look at right here. Here's the house with the camera on it right here, right? This is Camila's house. She goes here and then just walks straight there and is out of there, and that's why the only camera that ever picked her up is this one right here. Hey, thanks, Tamsters. There we go. And then maybe she just walked right over here. They said within a few hundred yards of her house. So I made this little circle. That's 300. Well, let's see. What do I have this? I'll just redo it. How about that? That way we don't have to... I don't remember how many yards I put on that. I thought 300, but... All right, here we go. Just go right to her house, and then... Oh, that's 300 right there, so it's definitely smaller. Hey, thank you, Chris O'Connell. Very kind, very kind. All right, so somewhere in here. So I would guess that they said, and then one article, one that Lisa Valenzuela sent me. Let's take a look at this. We'll get back to that press conference in a minute, and then we'll look at some of this, like a live stream. They said 200 yards. He said a few hundred, so I don't know. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office revealed deputies have found a body amid the search for the missing Texas teen Camila Mendoza Olmos, who was last seen outside her home. Remember when that case with the what was it? The CDC worker. He went missing, and while looking for him, they found like 2 or 3 bodies, and it seemed like every time, oh, here's. I mean, it was just the craziest thing I've ever seen. But anyways, she was last seen outside of her home in northwest Bexar County at 7 a.m. on Christmas Eve. 6:58 is when she's on camera. According to Bexar County Sheriff Salazar, search teams comprised of FBI agents and Bexar County Sheriff's Office discovered the body around 4:45 p.m. near the Burning Bush Landscaping Company at Benson, and that's exactly what we're looking at right here. That's that address that they gave. This is the Burning Bush Landscape. This is what we were looking at yesterday. Remember, we were kind of, wondering what the different mounds of stuff was, mulch and everything, just kind of looking at that area. Now, Salazar said they went back to an area that had already been checked. Salazar said it's too early to tell who the body is. Yeah, of course it's her, They already knew it was her, even when he said that statement. Everything, I'm sure, indicated. And, they know what she was wearing now, too. You can tell. I mean, if she had leggings on. He said there were multiple different explanations of what she was wearing from different people. So she could have had dark pants on. She could have had shorts on. That person walking, they thought was her because that matched the short conversation, etc. And a lot of times those things are red herrings that kind of throw you off. Let's see. Joel Burnt. Glad to be in the Freak Club. All right. Finish the 2025 strong. Like in Ocean's 12, Elliot Gould's character is in with the psychic, and Terry Benedict, Andy Garcia, walks in, and Elliot says to the psychic, "You couldn't see this coming if you know the movie." You could. Yeah. I've seen all of those, but sometimes I miss little elements because I'm always watching it. That's when Garcia kind of made them all help him after they screwed him over in Ocean's 11. And then we got hey, well, thank you. Whaley awesome. Well, you're awesome too. All right. Thank you. All right. Yeah, let's get back to this then. But yeah, just look how simple that is, though, you guys. So here's her house. Let's just go down the street view and let's pretend that we're sort of her walking. All right, so she was in, this is her house right there. She's in that driveway. Then after rummaging around, and this is the camera right there that filmed her in the driveway right here. After rummaging around, she literally could have just walked right over here and went that direction. Let me look at something here. If we go to Street View or Google Maps and then right down to the same spot right there, and there's more dates here. Oh, good. So we can go to 2022. And then now we get a better angle there. I was hoping to get it because these cameras, they're not always the same when they go by. So there you go. Look how easy that is. You just walk right there, and that's probably the grassy area, kind of like right there. What happens if we go? Let's go 2013. That's a long time ago. See, that angle isn't as good. 2011. Now that one's pretty good. You can see right there. Looks like, I think you can just stay up above here if you walk next to the fence and make your way over there. And see, look at that grass back there. I think that's sort of what they're talking about. Because look, you can walk right next to that fence and then make it out of there. Let's go back. Let's use Google Earth now. See, it looks like you can just sort of walk along on the inside right there, and then just step over here, and then there's this long grass over here. Crazy, huh?
No camera footage exists, but we would still ask people on that street to double check their cameras again. Yes, sir.
How long will it take for the medical examiner to determine?
So I'm guessing in the next day or two they'll be able to tell us a little bit more.
I would say if there's no camera footage on that street, then the footage of her walking on the street out there might not be her. I mean, it'd be a good chance that wasn't her, and that she went straight from the car. You know, these people, I mean, if you're committed like that, you're not going to go on a walk or something. I think she just went straight back there.
About who the body is, and then hopefully soon thereafter cause and manner of death as well.
It wasn't just over a boyfriend, it was over a bunch of stuff.
No saben si es ella o no, pero hay algo en el cuerpo o si es mujer o hombre que dé la indicación de que hay una posibilidad de que pueda ser ella.
La ropa que tiene puesto el cuerpo es similar
No, she couldn't have been. So here's the thing, people like Gart, you know what people like Gart say? Yeah, could she have been murdered and placed there? And then what they're waiting for is for you to say, you know, anything's possible. Ah, see, it's possible. No, I'm going to say no. Okay, it's not possible. Even though I know that's not true. That, you know, anything's possible.
La ropa que nosotros teníamos figurados que ella llevaba.
They get so excited about it when you give them one little ounce of something.
There was a firearm missing in this case.
Yeah,
we had not parted with that information publicly just yet, but I can tell you. Here's the truth of the way it is out there. Like if you have a missing person, and they had mentioned that she had taken a gun, and that taking her life was the most, you know, everybody was convinced that that was the most logical thing. The popularity of the case and the eyes on it dropped dramatically. Doesn't that suck? But that's true. People want it there to be a mystery and some sort of, you know, hey, we can go find something. And I don't really give a shit if it's a mystery or what. I just cover cases, and if it becomes a mystery and, you know, has a lot of moving parts and little puzzles to put together, that's great. But if they don't, they don't, you know. So it just shouldn't matter to people, but unfortunately it does. Now, hopefully the freaks it doesn't matter to, but you know what I'm saying, though. Tell you that there has been a firearm recovered at the scene where the body is.
And missing from the home.
Missing from the home, yes.
But have you confirmed that firearm belonged to that relative?
You sure are, Victor. I'm glad you were able to point yourself out. Victor said this guy, meaning himself, is an a-hole. Isn't that weird? Good job. Way to be able to have self-reflection like that, Victor.
The firearm that was missing did belong to a relative. The firearm that has been observed there at the crime scene, we haven't touched it yet. So we haven't gotten close enough to verify serial numbers.
So, si encontraron una pistola ahí donde está.
Sí hay una pistola ahí con el cuerpo, y sí sabemos que en este caso una pistola se había desaparecido de la casa. Una pistola que pertenecía a un pariente.
¿Van a dejar de buscar en el área? Porque ahorita pues todavía no se sabe si es
Pues
ella.
todavía vamos a dejar una presencia aquí en el área. Nosotros vamos a estar aquí por cuando menos esta noche procesando la escena. Porque ahorita, aunque no sospechamos homicidio, todavía tenemos que manejar la investigación con esa posibilidad en mente que puede ser un homicidio. Entonces tenemos que estar aquí por la mayoría de esta noche procesando todo. Entonces van a todavía haber actividades aquí de nosotros.
This is right next to the property.
¿Cómo dice?
El médico forense se podría tardar en revelar el resultado de los exámenes.
Ojalá para mí, mi preferencia
Victor's
es que
probably a
tan
psychic
pronto que se pueda.
who just lost business.
Ojalá en unos cuantos días nos puedan decir quién es esta persona que nosotros encontramos y qué fue la manera de fallecer.
Y última pregunta, solamente en esta semana hay 3 casos de mujeres desaparecidas, bueno, adolescentes. Una que es Sofía Gabriela.
No, Sofía ya la encontramos.
Well, everybody keeps talking about the video of the
See,
mother.
he was just asking me
Yeah,
about a
over and over.
young lady that we put on social media this morning, Sofia Kobos. We were actually in the process of reporting that she's been found alive and well when this call came in. So
Oh, yeah, that's that live
hit
stream,
hit
yeah.
the stops on her.
I have
But
that.
Sofia's we're no longer looking for her. Thankfully, she's back with family and where she's accounted for.
Me imagino que ya le notificaron a la familia de Camila que encontraron este cuerpo. ¿Cómo reaccionaron? ¿Qué le dijeron?
Bueno, no tengo mucha información en eso, solamente que nosotros sí mandamos 2, un agente federal y una de nuestras investigadoras. Ellas las 2 fueron y les dieron las noticias a la familia de Camila que habíamos encontrado un cuerpo, pero no se sabe, yo no sé qué reaccionaron.
Por parte de la familia van a necesitar ADN o algo que para poder ver si es...
Pues a ver qué es lo que vamos a necesitar. No sé si el forénsico médico nos puede ayudar con huellas o con récords dentales o como sea, pero la familia han estado ayudándonos con todo lo que se necesita.
Yeah, it's on that live. I've already got the link to that. There's like a live stream by News 4. The mother, she's just like rolling around on the ground. I mean, it's pretty sad.
Y ojalá tenemos las esperanzas que ellos van a seguir ayudándonos.
So is this early indications that it's or that it could be a suicide?
I look, at this point, we were certainly operating with that in mind. There had been some concerns early on. We didn't necessarily part with all of this information in detail, but there had been some concerns of depression, suicidal ideations made on Camila's part, to where we were considering that a very real possibility. Obviously this body being found with a weapon very nearby, that's certainly, to me, the prevailing theory, but we're still going to process the scene as if it's possibly a homicide and possibly not her. But, obviously for us...
Nah, you wouldn't be doing this if, it's her.
We're operating with that as the main prevailing theory at this point.
How is the family holding up?
I don't have much information other than we did send a joint team to the house of an agent and a deputy an investigator from the sheriff's office, and they both delivered that notification to Camila's mom a little bit ago, but I don't know what the reaction was from there. And we were not able to tell her definitively this is her because we just don't know at this point.
Was it the mounted deputies who found
at this point, I don't know if it was a mounted deputy or a deputy on foot or a deputy or a drone. We had drones overhead as well. I'll probably be receiving that update here in just a few minutes. But it was a good joint team of BCSO and FBI. And once again, the FBI has just been great at this. DPS called us earlier. Chief Vince Luciano has been great. He's been calling me all day, asking if we needed any help. I've been receiving calls from law enforcement all over, offering up assistance, but FBI came through big time for us today.
¿El cuerpo presentaba alguna herida, algún golpe?
Ahorita no se sabe porque todavía no tocamos el cuerpo. Solamente encontramos el cuerpo, tapamos ahorita y luego ya no vamos a tocar el cuerpo hasta que llegue el forénsico.
Can you elaborate on the tough times that she was having? Do you know of anything from her phone or anything like that?
So, from what I can gather, she was having a tough time with school, with work, with a relationship that had recently ended. I mean, just typical teen stuff that she had going on, and it's heartbreaking to have seen and read some of the things that we're reading, because it was pretty clear she was going through a very tough time. So, I mean, I use this as an opportunity to remind everybody out there, whether you've got kids this age or even well into adulthood, check on people and don't take anything for granted. Many times we hear, well, she was depressed, but she seemed to have gotten better all of a sudden, so everything must be okay. Well, sometimes when everything seems to be okay, it might be because they've made up their mind and they're coming to coming to peace with the fact that they're going to end their own life. And so I don't I don't mean to scare anybody with that, but don't always take that as a comfort and say, okay, we must be through the crisis. Definitely, if you're going through a crisis yourself, reach out and get help. If you suspect that a friend or family member is going through a tough time mentally, please get them the help that they need.
And also for people watching, we have the crisis hotline, right?
Sure, there's crisis hotlines. There's a national suicide hotline. You can always call the non-emergency number for the sheriff's office or for the SAPD. There's no shortage of numbers you can call, and absolutely people are going to be willing to come help.
And I know you choked up earlier. This is definitely a tough
thanks,
time,
Mama, for
but
coffee.
How are you feeling?
It's tough. This is certainly not the outcome we were hoping for, right? We always hope in these situations that...
yeah, so he knows it's her. I mean, why would he be saying this?
That she's going to be fine, and that she's with a boyfriend and just wanted to get away from everything and, not talk to anybody. You don't ever want any case to end like this. And although we're not yet at that point where we're ready to say that this is her, the fact is we've got a body and it's a distinct possibility.
Thank you.
And what location? Was it the Burning Bush Landscaping?
It's a landscaping company very near here.
Was she wearing the same clothing that matched the description?
So we've got several different clothing descriptions that were put out that day. We got the one that was put on social media, but then somebody gave us an alternate clothing description, and the body is wearing clothing that's very similar to what was described to us.
Algo así, usted como padre y con
Which was?
hijas, ¿cómo se siente si es que llega a ser ella que esto haya terminado de esta manera?
Bueno, mira, nosotros obviamente teníamos las esperanzas que la íbamos a encontrar con amigos, con un novio fuera del pueblo, no quería hablar con nadie. Pero ya cuando se toca de encontrar un cuerpo, obviamente eso no es lo que queríamos. Entonces para nosotros lo único que yo puedo decir ahorita es que mi prioridad es poder averiguar si este cuerpo es de ella y luego ya poderles ayudarles a la familia con lo que ellos necesiten en ese momento de nuestra agencia. Okay. Thank you all so much, guys.
Hey, thanks, Chris O'Connor. Chris O'Connell. Yeah, I'm not going to play the... If you guys want to go watch it's on, if you want to see her devastated reaction, I'm not going to do it. It's on... I can't remember. What's the name of this? Live Now, Fox, San Antonio. On YouTube, you can go watch it. I mean, let's just, maybe we can watch... I wanted to see some of the other stuff later when they were interviewing different people. I mean, what's the point of playing that? I'm sure she reacts the way... I mean, what's the point of it, I guess? I think they're kind of looking at it from like over here somewhere. Is there a sign of... Let me go look. Yeah. So this is where they're at. So see this picture right there? See that little black and the way that black and then topsoil? That's right there. That's part of this sign. God, I'm good at this stuff when I look up map stuff. But anyways, that's part of that little sign right there. I'm just kidding you guys. But yeah, they're standing right there, and they must be looking like, like they probably have this whole place blocked off right here. And then, so it's interesting that they came in from that angle. I mean, they're right there, so it could be right on the edge of here, maybe over here somewhere. Although I don't know if that's part of that. I think that's a different company right there, right? Like this is, yeah, that's a cement company or something. And they said it was on this property. So that means it's likely inside of this area right here. I'm thinking. Right inside of that. Right there. Thanks, Sandy Shirley. Yeah. Sucks. So this is it's earlier on in this video when the mother gets there. I don't know if there's more. Let's see what this person says. This is the one that mentioned psychics.
Can we,
Go to my call.
I think so.
Where's that crystal ball when you need it, huh?
Stupid is being
Oh, there it is. Stupid. Kill me, good little buddy. Super. Now, you know that's what she's going to be doing here in a second. Watch. Here we go. Watch this. Hey, thanks, Susie Kraft. Nice thing to say there.
Oh, for your top part of your camera? Oh, okay. Oh, you're good. How close can I get?
Fort San Antonio.
Lori, y'all have been very involved since the start of this case. And obviously this is not the outcome anyone was hoping for, but based off what we know so far, are you confident that this is Camila?
Well,
The only thing this is better than is the outcome is better than if you have a missing person that's never found. That means for the rest of the family's life, they're in the state of limbo. And while you have thoughts that they're alive, you don't believe that they're alive, so it's not even better than that. And this one, at least they have her, they can bury her, say goodbye, and, you know, get back to sort of living sort of a normal life at some point. It might take a couple of years or whatever, but when somebody's missing, you never get to have a normal life ever again. Hey, wow, look at Notorious Nat said. You're witnessing the goat of true crime right there, here, people. Yeah, well, I appreciate you saying that. I always think we do it so much better than everybody else here. We just don't get the views because we're not, I'm not sensationalistic, you know? Like, I don't go, ooh, hey, you know, maybe it's the Illuminati with the, you know, and come up with some crazy story. But we all, when we're watching, you know, working through these cases, we're pretty accurate, you know, like, you know, this is one of those ones where, you know, my main thought was that she did something to herself, like I think I was, 60%, and then there was, like, you know, still a possibility of the other things, but you got to go with what law enforcement's saying on some of that stuff, because they're right in the thick of the investigation. I don't know what that means. Dennis. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I've been on court TV many times, but at least somebody over there probably recognized that I know what I'm doing. So that's cool. Sometimes they want me on for cases that I'm not really covering, and I don't feel comfortable doing that. Like, I'm not really a generic mouthpiece to talk about, you know, forensic, you know, something that's kind of like, I want to know the case and have something sort of unique to add to it. So they've asked me many times to be on different shows, And I just say, yeah, I don't really know that case. But if I know it, then I'll go on there.
It is believed to be the remains of Camila Mendoza Olmos, and we'd like to extend our deepest condolences to the family if that's the case.
I live in Oregon.
It is just heartbreaking. This is not how we want to end any search. This is not how, it's not the outcome we were hoping for.
And you were talking about having a feeling about this area because they've already been searched before. In your experience, what made you think that crews should come back?
Well, we did.
Hey, could you guys hit that like button though? We've only got we got 600 people watching, but 361 likes. I think we can do better than that. All right, so we're unfortunately because we don't have enough likes. I have to hit the auctioneer button. Hit that like button, 10, 20, 25, 30. Hit that like button, 40. Use your nose, use your toes, whatever blows, hit that like button. It's one of the easiest damn things to do in the world. You just take out your finger and press the freaking button. At least you can do that. Thank you very much. Well, thank you, Notorious Nance. I've actually met Notorious Nance, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 different times. You know, different cases that we've had over here. And she's really, she's so cool, you know. So there you go.
We did get some guidance from some psychics.
You got guidance from psychics, yeah.
If you will, who volunteered information about this particular area. This area did make sense from the standpoint of it. She could have walked here without...
Right, after watching our show, you'd see how easy it was to walk over there.
Being on any road, which would explain why she was not on any ring cameras. She could have just cut back between the houses near her home and walked in the back of this landscaping business. So it could be.
As you know, with your experience in these cases, when it comes to mental health, I mean, what is your message, I guess? What are you hoping people take away from this, even though it is such a tragedy?
There's always help. There's always someone that can help you, or there are always agencies that can help you. If you need help, if you feel depressed, reach out. And there are many people that are willing to help you. This is just a temporary situation. There is always a solution. There's always a way to get help. This beautiful young lady had her entire life ahead of herself, and for some reason she didn't feel like she did. She didn't know that, and it's that alone is a tragedy. But there's always help. If someone doesn't know where to reach out, they could always reach out to us at Search and Support, and we can help them find resources. Can call 988.
Ooh, wait a minute. I've got some thoughts. Oh yes, it's coming to me now. What channel was that on? Yeah, great. Yeah, we were watching. Well, wait, I can't say that. We were watching Grant Hughes' channel. But look at it. Maybe it's over here. Yeah, man, these people are.
And they will assist them as well.
I'm waiting for her to put one of those bandanas on, you know.
Who may not have helped themselves, but they may kind of point blank say, "Why didn't you guys search harder?" Can you kind of explain the complexity of the search and why it's not that easy?
Certain. Well, there were numerous search groups out that came to look for this young lady. This type of situation is very compelling, and everyone wants to help. There are a lot of people that came without being affiliated with a search group, and what was important for Sheriff Salazar to do was to try and coordinate the efforts and to try and streamline that to make sure people weren't tripping over themselves, and to make sure that people could do
Gilligan, little buddy,
could not interfere with the search for the Bexar County Sheriff's Department as well. And I think what's important to know is that even though we're search groups, we have to play by the same rules. We're not allowed to go on private property. Let them know where they wanted to search, and they gave approval. So they made a very intelligent young lady. She is very, very in touch with religion and God, and just one of the seemingly, by all accounts, nicest young ladies you could ever meet. Very good person, good values, and it's just it's a tragedy.
In those conversations with family, did they ever imagine this could be the outcome? Were there ever those thoughts?
I don't think so. I don't believe anyone ever thought that. No, of course, nobody wants to believe that this could be the outcome. And she was always such a lovely young lady, always smiling, always bright, always pleasant. That if she had these deep issues, she hit it very well.
Okay. That person's a joke, Dennis.
That I know all of us are deeply saddened by this situation, and we wish nothing but the best.
Sure as hell entertaining, I tell you. Why are you typing that in, Tamsters? God damn. What's wrong? It's just crazy. While I was here, I talked about depression and I spoke from personal experience. Okay. Sorry about that.
For the family, and we would wish that everyone give them grace and time to heal, and time to grieve in their own space.
Who is? I don't know. I guess maybe somebody in charge of searching or something. I don't know. But hey, guys, we're still struggling away here. We're not at even the minimum goals. So if you guys have the ability, you like my channel relies on the people watching, just like every other true crime YouTube channel that does live streaming. They rely on the people watching to help support their channels. Fortunately, the freaks support my channel, and if you guys have the ability to, that would be great. We're still not there. We only have 17 gifted channel memberships, which is way less than what we've been doing, and we're just not even really close. So we need to have a good night tonight, and then tomorrow night's our donation night, where we have that one push for the show, and then do give out money again to various my channel's given out $270 something thousand since January of 2020. And so, yes, my channel makes an income too, but we also try to make a difference by putting out the factual information and doing, helping out different charities in the true crime world, like Texas Equisearch and RAIN and NICMEC, etc. All right, so need your guys' support to make it happen. We're having one of those massive lulls, which we seem to have every single night these days. Don't know what the deal is. Welcome. Yeah, actually, what are we at here? We're at 273,044 this year so far. This is the last donation night of the year, coming up tomorrow. So, I wish I could have one show where I don't have to ask. You know what I mean? That'd be so great. Just one. That'd be a great present. Huh? I don't have any cups of coffee over here. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means at all. Yeah, I raise funds that help support my channel, but then we give away. I mean, I try to get ad revenue and super chats and bring in as much income as I can, and then donate as much as I can too. That's it. That's what I do with YouTube. And some people don't like that. They want me to give every nickel that the channel makes to charity. I don't pretend that I'm a charity intake company. I'm just saying, I need the support from my channel to be able to give away. I try to do about like 30, it used to be like 33%, but it's been harder to do that because the income hasn't been as much. So we keep seeing it right now. Even after I've said that, we haven't had one channel gifted membership or super chat or anything. So with the people watching here, can you please help support the channel The channel relies on you. Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty brutal when the mother finds out. They had to like hold her back. And yeah, it's not good. Because she was in tall grass. Maybe they didn't look over there because they thought she went out the other direction. They had checked it already too, they said. And they just didn't see her, so they went back and checked the area again. I don't know how you'd miss her. I mean, we don't know what it looks like there currently. Hey, thanks, Sassy Squatch. Oh, Lisa Valenzuela said, if 5 memberships are gifted, 5 different people can do one, she'll donate 25 in coffees. That'd be awesome. Thank you. And thanks, Sassy Squatch, for gifting one there. Welcome, Dennis, the agent. Yeah, they said tall grass. I'm not sure if, like, maybe this whole area here is much taller than... Well, let's look. Maybe there's other times a year where you can sort of see... That's... Yeah, maybe like March. Yeah, maybe that's kind of like tall there, something like that. I mean, that'd be crazy if she was found like right in here, but I think it's over this... The property for this company, I think, is right here. So they said she was found on that property. And so that, I think it would mean somewhere, I'm guessing in here. I mean, maybe it was like right in this area. Hey, look at that. We had Tamsters, Bella Marie, Chris O'Connell, and Shelly Pink, 8086. I think that's 4 so far. We need 1 more. No, foul play is not suspected. There was a missing gun from the house, and they found that gun apparently right next to her. Hey, thanks, Bella Marie, again. Is that a different story? Let's see what this one is. Yeah, see, it says right here. Body found in search for missing Texas teen, no foul play suspected. Sheriff. Officials said they found a body in the search for missing Camila Mendoza. Was last seen on Christmas Eve. Camila has been missing since Wednesday morning. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar, who's obviously politically motivated, said a body was found in a nearby field by a search party on Tuesday afternoon. He said foul play was not suspected. A firearm was also found near the body. While foul play is not suspected at this time, Salazar says it's still too early to determine whether the body is Camila. Now they have 2 L's in her name. He added the authorities had been searching for a missing firearm belonging to a member of her family. Hey, thanks, Paul Marino and Carol Silva. Very kind, very kind. He added that the authorities had been searching for a missing firearm belonging to a member of the family. Salazar previously said the 19-year-old may have been having mental health challenges. Man, she's just so beautiful. I mean, it's just crazy, you know? And it sounds like she was as pretty as she is, that her personality was great also, you know, like a really nice person. I guess it just shows you, man, anybody can be depressed. I bet the boyfriend feels terrible. She grew up in Southern California and still has close family ties. I wonder if that's part of it too, you know, like she's not near all of her old friends. It's been very heartbreaking. Priscilla Flores Mendoza Olmos, cousin, told Eyewitness. It's just unbelievable. We've got to consider all possibilities at this point. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar said at a news conference, unfortunately for us, we can't start narrowing that down until some evidence takes us to that, and we're not there yet. I'm not sure if that was from today. That sounds like that was a different time. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, we were talking about, I remember the other day I was thinking, I just looked at that culvert, but I didn't realize that they're everywhere. You know, there's one there, there's one right here, and that's actually on her street too, you know, like she could have walked down the street and went in there, but however, there's a camera on that house, there's a camera on that house, and they didn't pick her up. There's also a camera on this house, and that didn't pick her up. And there's these cameras right here on the corner, and those didn't pick her up. And so, given that, now we must, you know, I think it's more likely that the person walking on the dash camera might not be her. You know, it's like more likely that's not her. And then when she went to the car here, she merely like walked right over here to this and then just left. Right there, I mean, right at her house, there's a way out of the complex. In fact, you just come right over to this side, and you just walk along the fence here, and you're kind of out here now. And, you know, I guess I would think that maybe she was found, and then she must have gone through here or something, but I bet you it's like right in there. And this is deeper, and she was sort of blocked from view behind these trees and over there, you know, it was just sort of back in there. That's just a guess, you know, but they're saying 200 yards, you know. It's also, I mean, 200 yards is right at the edge of that culvert too. I don't know, it's crazy. Hey, thanks, Lisa Valenzuela. You know, they actually, there was a bunch of documents put out in the Idaho 4 case today. They're pretty, some of them are pretty interesting. I was actually planning on going over some of that on this show, and then this news came out. I mean, I don't know if I'm not sure what else we do with this one anyways. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Did anybody hear a gunshot sound? But, you know, it's Texas, you know, and it was behind these trees way over here, so it might have muffled the sound a little bit. Yeah. I don't know, maybe somebody did hear it, but they just didn't think much of it. Nor did they associate it with her because of the way the story was playing out at the time. Mm-hmm. Why were people looking up shooting range? Right there. No, it's not a shooting range. I don't see any. There's one over there. Over there. There. I don't think there's any right next to it. Well, you know, we got to keep the momentum going. We're still not even at where I would donate the 5. Isn't that just seems like that would have been easy. All people ate rats, calling the cops because of what? What a weird comment. Why is it? What makes them a rat? You hear a gunshot and you call, "Hey, I heard a gunshot." What makes them a rat? Man, people like you are just cuckoo. Yeah, but maybe it was just muffled and nobody heard it, you know? Look, there's trees here. There's these huge dirt mounds. There's trees there. There's trees all over there. There's also a fence here. I mean, you know, depending if she was low to the ground when she shot, then it's just may not have had much sound for people, you know? It's crazy. No, anybody calls the cops when something goes wrong. I bet, hey, the Beard Deadman, I bet you've called the cops before when you needed them, right? Does that make you a rat? No, people call the cops when there's something that they need to call the cops about, right? Are we supposed to let the criminals just do what they want? You sound like you're upset that when you're going out to do your criminal bidding, that somebody might call. And why not make them feel stupid by calling him a rat if they made a phone call? It's weird, man. Weird stuff. Really strange. Right. Yeah, you never needed to. Right. But what about the people who needed to call the cops? Are they rats? What makes them a rat for calling the cop? Let's say you're looking outside in your street and there's two people firing guns at each other and people are ducking. You're not going to call the cops because you don't want to be called a rat? What an idiot. Jesus, you got to be kidding me. Whew. Wow. Rats are people who call the police, everybody. Hey, thank you, Jeffrey Siddall and Sarah Reason. Sarah Reesness. Or is it something else? It's probably something really simple, but I just can't do it. Yeah, but when people call the cops, they're not rats, are they? Yeah. Well, this isn't going to be the place for you, the Beard Man. Go do something else. You sound like a crazy person. Now, lunatic's probably a better phraseology. No, doctor, professor. People call the cops when they hear something. Like, let's say you hear a bunch of gunshots coming from an area. You might call the cops and say, "Hey, I think I heard some gunshot coming from an area." "Oh, you snitch. Oh, you're a rat. Just let everybody shoot and do all this crap." That's pure lunacy, man. That's what makes a uncivil society and is the downfall of societies right there. Yeah, why wouldn't you? That's one of the problems we have out there, is people don't call them when something's happening. They'd rather get out their cell phone and take selfies. What do you mean? What sounds like Portland? Man, what in the hell is your... Have a brain that works. Type in a sentence that actually makes sense to people. Sounds like Portland, LOL. What sounds like Portland? Portland's a joke. Just lawless shit goes on down there. She got the gun from a family member. But the gunshot was on the 4th. Yep. All right, let's try to get to the... I want to be able to donate 5 memberships myself, so we need to get another... let's see. We need another 10. If you guys give 10 memberships, I'll donate 5. That's where we're at right now. Hey, thanks, Chris O'Connell. And then we'll switch over to the Idaho documents, if you guys want to. I still keep talking to the lady over there who does the Idaho documents. I'm actually getting footage from this other gas station that was mentioned, and I don't know what it was. I'm sure it would be thousands of dollars, so I just requested specific ranges of time. I still haven't got how much it would cost yet, but yeah, I'd never go downtown. So where's the we need 10 more channel memberships, you guys, and then I'll donate 5. That'll be 15, and we'll get a good start from today and tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think my Idaho 4 videos are better than everybody else's. They didn't really care about... They all just try to make it seem like it's a conspiracy and invent these things. Mine were factual, hard-hitting, absolutely nailed it. This is what's going on. After you watch those, if you still think Koberger didn't do it, you're an idiot. That's kind of how it works. I always notice that when I do my challenge, it's just, I've said this many times. When I do my challenge, it just goes, it sounds like this in my head. Listen, right here. Yeah. Idiot shows and, yeah. Yeah, I was looking at I read a whole bunch of the one by Mallory's. It's got 100 and something pages in it. Hey, Whiskey Boots, there's one. All right, we got 1 of the 10. Very cool, thank you. Yeah, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... 12, 13, 14, 15 new documents that came out. Gray is a superstar. Well, yeah, that was nice. And then we have Whiskey Boo. Oh, look at that. Chris O'Connell again. All right, so it's just 4 more then, I guess. Estranged. What does that mean, man? Okay, there's now just 3 more. We got Sassy Squatch in there. Oh my God, and then Bella Marie. There we go. Here we go. And here we go. And there we go. There we go. We got, you guys did it. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So you got to, well, switch over to that then. I don't have much more to say. In Camilla's case, I just feel absolutely horrible for the mother. I mean, really, I feel really bad for the people that were left behind. I don't, some people don't agree with me when I say this, but I think, sometimes when people take their life, they're being very selfish. They're so consumed with how they feel that they don't know the absolute, or nor do they care about the absolute devastation they're bestowing or leaving on their family for years and years and years to come. So maybe think about that at some point. Even though you're not feeling like everything's great, think about what you're going to do to everybody else that's left behind, and that should stop you from doing what you're doing. Figure out a way to feel better. All right. Right, they don't think about that. That's why I think it's just so selfish. They're so consumed with their feelings. And then they do that, and they don't think about what it does, the devastation that leaves behind for everybody else. So right now, I feel terrible for, the mother. The father seemed like a really cool dude, nice guy. All of her friends and family, they're screwed. They're going to be messed up mentally for at least a year and a half, 2 years and then they'll never actually get over it. They'll just sort of learn to live with knowing that happened. It's horrible. And yeah, get help, figure something out. You can do it. There's no need. It's horrible to put people through that. Yeah, my channel grows really slowly. As a matter of fact, during this last week, I just keep losing subs. I haven't gained any subscribers at all. I go backwards, and it's just because I don't allow like wild sensationalism or any of that crazy crap, and people don't like it, and they go, "Oh, you're so rude, you're so mean," and it's like, no, I just don't like what you're saying. I think what you're saying is ludicrous, and you can say whatever the hell you want to say. I just don't, I'm not required to respect some. Okay, here's a true statement. Want to hear another one? This is a grayism. That phrase that people always say when they say, you have to respect somebody's opinion? I do not agree with that at all. What I agree with is you have to respect the right for everybody to state their opinion, but you are not required to respect the opinion itself. You know what I mean? Like, why would I respect, you get a crazy predator up here talking about, whoa, this is what they do, and I'm supposed to go, I really respect your opinion. No, I don't. I think you're a pile of shit, and I'm not going to pretend that what you said is respect-worthy. Anyways, that's the truth, right? Why are you required to respect somebody's opinion on something? Why is that a statement or a sentence made out there? Haven't you ever heard opinions that are just... I guarantee you there's people that don't respect my opinion in the Stephen Stearns about the mother of Madeline Soto, I think that she's a victim too by Stephen Stearns, and people don't respect that. And that's cool, great, you don't respect it, right? But at least that's what my opinion is based on what law enforcement said. Jennifer Soto, I think is her name. We haven't covered that in a long time, and it is what it is. I think that case is a crazy one, but people you're not required to respect somebody's opinion. I think you should be required to allow them to have one, and then once they state it, you don't have to go, I respect your opinion, but no, that's stupid. Well, I just today, just looking at this, I don't know why I was looking. I was looking at this fence, and then that didn't look like the fence. I think she went like this. I think she was right here. The camera's on that house. It filmed her at her car right here. And I think from there she walked right through this little culvert area and then took her life inside this area over here. And that's why she didn't show up on any of these cameras. This camera, the one that's right there at that house, she didn't show up, you know. And so the one on the dash camera, I think is possibly, you know, if that's her, then she obviously went a different route. But I think it's most likely now that that wasn't her, and the lack of her being on video cameras means she went that way. Yeah, see, I don't, like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if the law enforcement, Mel, in that case, said that they do not believe that Jennifer Soto knew what Stephen Stearns was doing. So there you go. Now, you don't have to believe them, but they investigated that, wanting to put something on her, and they couldn't find anything. And Stephen Stearns picked, I think, Jennifer Soto because Jennifer Soto is mentally challenged, and he preyed upon her knowing that she had a young kid, and then he groomed both of them over the years. That's what I believe. You know, and I'm using the facts, not what I want to believe. Okay. Anyways, let's see. So, way behind. Yeah. Yeah, well, you can believe what you want to believe, Mel, but there's no evidence that she knew. So you're just saying, why don't you just say this? I believe with no evidence at all that she knew everything and was part of it. Okay, that's all you got to do. But I don't do it that way. Let's see. Well, it's true what I just said, right? Come on. Ding, 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 diddle, ding, ding. And this is where I'm unsubscribing, Gray. Can you believe what Gray said? God, it's so sick. People are just whack, you know. They'd rather listen to a conspiracy nutter than somebody that just tells them the... I mean, I when I come out with opinions, it's based on what I'm looking at. And I mean, I really covered the Stephen Stearns case. Went through every document, every interview, etc. And I didn't see it, man. I didn't see that Jennifer Soto was all in on something. I mean, some of her decisions were stupid, but I think they appear that way. To her, it didn't seem stupid because Stephen Stearns was able to groom Jennifer into believing that it was okay, even though she sort of didn't think it was. I mean, I can just totally see how she was manipulated by him. They don't say any words. They just run to the Facebook groups and say, "Oh, did you hear what Grace said?" All right. Anyways, let's. There you go. Up here. I thought this one was pretty interesting. I mean, this one has a ton of stuff in it. It actually has a lot of descriptions of where... I mean, it seems like we've seen some of this stuff similar to this before. Of like where the blood drops were and everything. Blood stain measurements. I mean, look at this very... 6 step from the top floor. There was one, let's see, 6 feet 5 inches. Yeah, so I mean, it goes into all these different stuff written down. Might be interesting to go over that. But I was thinking I wanted to look at this Maori document. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to do. This, the Camilla's case has been solved. It's over. Now, by some miracle, if they turn out that something didn't make sense based on something, then we'll go, oh, okay, right? But I mean, why would she get the gun? It seems like gonna be pretty simple and obvious, but I guess, you got to wait for the final words, but we don't really have much more that we can do with it. Don't you agree? What do we keep talking about on Camilla's case? And I think Seven Stearns, he pled guilty, I guess, on both of the things that he was charged with, and he's not going to get the death penalty. And he'll never go to trial, and nobody will ever get to hear all the facts. I mean, I think we pretty much already know. That was one of the cases that the documents they released told the whole story. I mean, it was, the probable cause in that one was so detailed that I don't even think you'd need to have a trial by the time that was done. All right. Well, I'll be back here in just a minute. I got to use the restroom. Then we'll start go over this thing. Do you guys want to do this? Watching Grant Hughes Investigates. All right, there we go. Wasn't that awesome? Hey, Brooke, I don't care, man. Think through things a little bit better. Let's see. Where are all these people coming from? These troll people. I mean, they're just... See what I mean? You say something and then they end up being trolls. You know what I'm saying? But while we're going over this, if you guys could help support the channel, that would be great. We got to have some momentum going into tomorrow. That would be awesome. All right, let's see. I'm going to start at the top here. You know, like, nothing but love. Nothing but love. What movie is that from? Nothing but love. Wait, what was that? Yeah, well, that's right. It's from Will Smith in Independence Day. He was saying nothing but love when they were when the aliens saw them through the ship and he fired the nuke into the... Yeah. I know it's said all over the place, but I'm gonna take one right now. Just so you can get the hell out of here, Callie. Oh yeah, you know what's cool is that we got more phone ping information in some of this stuff. So I did get so the cell tower, and I actually already had the towers in here. See the little C here? I had this tower, and it said that it pinged off of this tower at 242, and that one's right near where he lives over here, right? And then the other tower was right here. I also had this pin. See that little untitled thing? Right there. There's a cell tower right in this area. And that was at 247. And that's crazy because that's exact, you know, that would be in that little route area that I was talking about. But maybe, you know, I don't know how Koberger got, you know, he must have came down and maybe right here he turned down like this and then drove out. And then came down and came out right there and then shot across. I mean, who the hell knows? But anyways. I'm sure I'll enjoy a couple cocktails tomorrow evening. It might be just a couple, you know, I don't know. I'm not like when I was younger, you know, you go out and you can have multiple drinks. What is this thing right here? Let's see, they were trying to get a tower dump. Shit, look at that. I love it when they have like put stuff like this in their coordinates, because I can actually take those coordinates and put them right into Google Earth. And should come up with something. Got to get rid of their spacing that they have. Alright, so here's one of the data dump towers. Wow, where the hell's that? I don't see it. Let me turn off everything except that. That's crazy. There's a tower right in there. Wow. Okay, that's the house. So right here it said, for a tower dump of all records and unique device identifiers pertaining to timing advance or real-time tool location database, location information during the following listed dates, times, and geographical boundaries. Distance from GPS points. GPS. Oh, cool. Maybe we'll get some of that. GPS coordinates. That's the 1122 King Road residence. 0.5 mile. Let's see. This warrant was served at approximately 10:29 hours via Larenbaum. I don't know what the hell they're saying there. And then this one says, for a tower dump of all records and unique devices, user identifying pertaining to the timing advance. And that looks like the same place. So they're trying to get the distance at which where Koberger's phone was pinging from. Wouldn't you love to still have all of that? The information about where Koberger's phone was on all those other dates that he was around. Okay, this is from, on November 5th, 2022, I received an email from Steve Gonzalez, the father of Kaylee Gonzalez. He stated he had access to some of Kaylee's messages and phone calls. Steve stated he would have his other daughter, Olivia, contact me about those files. I was able to speak to Olivia, and she sent me various files, including an image from the spokesman review showing a camera on a nearby residence, text messages between Kaylee and Jack DeCoeur, text messages between Kaylee and her Uber driver. They didn't redact names at all in these documents. I attached these files to the case file. The communication between Kaylee and DeCoeur was located on DeCoeur's phone. I wonder why they're not redacting names on these. I mean, I assume it's okay, Let's see, the phone examination, and the Twitch feed was previously downloaded. In the image showing the camera, it was found that the residence was at 1112 King Road. The SD card from the camera was brought to the Moscow Police Department, but was the file system of the card was not recognized by any of the forensic computers. The card was returned to the owner and reinstated into the camera. On November 17th, oh, there you go. Hey, you guys, that's where the conspiracy theories. Okay, so they took it out, right? Then they inserted video of a white Elantra driving around. They just filmed it at a different time and put it in there and then gave it back to the homeowner. Yeah! Will that get me more views if I come up with those kinds of theories? Watch, you'll hear that on another channel coming up. Oh, yeah. So then on the 17th, John Rosinski recontacted the owner of the camera at 1112 King Road via phone. Carter stated she was out of town, but sent a video to OFC Rosinski showing a figure walk to the dumpster and appear to look inside. That is in there, but it's not anywhere near the time. To preserve any potential evidence on the camera, I asked Carter if he would seize the entire device, including the SD card. To which she stated yes. Carter stated she would not be back in Moscow until approximately November 28th, 2022. I directed Carter to contact me when she returned to her residence, at which time I will attempt to connect the camera back to the Wi-Fi router and view video from the device. Man, that must have been some really intense time. What's the boom for? What happened? What's going on? What's the boom? What's the boom? What's the boom? Hey, we got another challenge? No? Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. Man, imagine that footage is so crucial to the case, the 1112 King Road footage. And imagine thinking, man, there was this, they had already seen it. They weren't able to remove it, so they bring it back to the camera, and then they had to wait like a week or 2 weeks, hoping to God something, didn't write over it or something. Man, how freaky is that? Hey, Carl. What's going on? And we keep losing people left and right because we're not going over continually Camila's case, even though now we got the answer. We're down to 363 people. I'm sure we'll be down to 250 by the time. It was kind of cool having 600 and something there for a little bit. But as we're doing this, you guys, if you want to help support the channel, that'd be great. On November 18th, 2022, I received an email from Olivia Gonzalez showing screenshots of a Facebook post from Dylan Mortensen. In that post, the account, the username was Dylan.Mortensen, reported details about the incident. I searched for this user and found a user. This account had an avatar similar to Mortensen's. I was able to pull up the account, and it appeared to have the following friends associated. I requested preservation of all 4 of these accounts. At approximately 7:45 a.m., I received an email from Facebook stating the accounts were preserved. Maybe she was sharing what she saw. On November 13, 2022, this is the day of the murders, I was informed 2 of the victims had been patrons of the Grub Truck located at Main Street in Moscow, Idaho. I was also informed Grub Truck streams live feeds. I was able to locate the Twitch accounts, Grub Truckers, and locate the stream from the November 12th through 13th, 2022. This stream was labeled the Carbonara Effect. Can I get a That's so cute. I always think how Kaylee said that. I want the carbonara. She said it. She's kind of drunk, the way she said it, but it was funny. We'll never reveal our secret's ingredient. In the video, Kaylee Gonzalez and Maddie Mogan are seen walking into the camera view on the video at 3:43:01 timestamp. They are accompanied by a male, later identified as Jack Showalter. Gonzalez orders and receives food at 3:53:31 timestamp. The girls are seen walking around the truck and leave the area. Showalter appears to be talking to another patron and does not see the girls leave. Showalter then raises his arm in a what fashion? I don't think he did that. I don't think so. I think he just was like, okay, hey, see you guys, like that. And walks away in a different direction than the girls. He didn't. That's not true at all. Who watched this thing? None of that's true. He just waved like, okay, see you guys. And he walked in the same direction the girls went. I'm not sure when you say opposite direction, does that sound legit to any of you? That he walked in the opposite direction of Kaylee and Madison? No. Yeah, Olivia got that footage really quick. You guys aren't responding to questions and comments I'm making, so I'm just sort of like, I'm wondering if I want to do this. We're back to that slow, nobody's saying anything. He didn't go the opposite direction. What are you talking about? What do you mean you thought he went the opposite direction? What does that even mean? He went the exact same direction they walked. I mean, right away, right? And then he turned right around the corner and then the girls went straight. I wouldn't say opposite direction. Opposite would be if you walked by the camera again and went back that way, and then the girls went that way. They went in the same direction, and then they drove away, and then he turned around a corner. So it's no opposite direction. Yeah, right. He went in the same direction they went. He waved, and then he turned right after that. And they went straight, so it's not like opposite where one goes north and the other one goes south. Yeah, but they went the same direction first, and that's what he's saying here. Walks away in a different direction. Now he walked the same direction and then eventually turned. Yeah. Yeah, they just, On November 18th, I logged into the Uber law enforcement portal and submitted an exigent preservation request for any location data associated with Uber. In a screenshot received from Olivia Gonzalez, it showed messages which appear to be from Gower's phone between Kaylee Gonzalez and himself. The name of the recipient is Kaylee Uber. So that's the Uber driver. Now, what does that mean, Mark? How at 350? If you type it in one more time, I'm going to remove you. You've already typed it in twice. It doesn't make any sense to anybody with a brain. And we're going to go ahead, and if you type it in again, you won't be commenting again. All right? We don't know what you're talking about. We don't know anything. Just typing in 3:50 a.m., you know. Nobody knows what that means. Okay. You mean the time frame that they got? Oh, I see what you're saying. I think they meant 143 and 350 and 153. You didn't see, if you had said the exact time, not just 350, I would have known what you were talking about. You didn't say that though. You just typed in 350 and that wasn't either of the two numbers. So right here it's 343. Right, that should be 143 and this should be 153. But that's a correct timestamp. That is what it said on the grub truck camera footage. It did say that. Except it's off by 2 hours based on other surveillance. See, when they got this here, they didn't have all the timeline information correct. You know, so it does say that on the camera. I mean, I could actually pull it up. I just showed it the other day in a video that I did. All right, Mel, have a great New Year's. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Right. Yeah, so this is so the footage does say that time on it, but it just means their camera was off by, I think, precisely 2 hours. Let me see if I can find it really quick, just so we can. Let's see. Oh yeah, I don't remember. Do I have the? I think it's like timeline, all surveillance, full hour. I think it's on this full hour one. This is take too long, unfortunately, to find it. Well, let's see. I think it might be like 50, maybe. No, it's a different case there. Different one. Different one. Different. This is full hour. Timeline? Let's try that one. Jeez. I don't know where that. I don't know where it is. I'm just forget it. I have the footage though, and I've seen it. That's what it says on the footage itself. It's off. Anyways, let's keep moving. Yeah, I'm not sure if it mentions the grub truck on that one, but it's in the vehicle footage. Remember the one that talks about each of the cameras that was used, and then it actually had a portion where it talked about each camera, and if it was off at all, it would mention it. Yeah, I've got hundreds. I mean, I can't even. It's hard to keep track of them all. On November 13th, I was informed of a possible surveillance camera located at. Okay, that's going back again to the 1112 King Road again. Let's see. I'm just trying. I want to find that part that just keeps going on and on. On November 13th, 2022, I responded to 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho, in an attempt to interrogate the wireless router located at this residence. After speaking with Corporal Brett Payne, he informed me the wireless router and cable modem are located in the living room. After arrival, I used an Ethernet cable to connect my laptop to the local area network. Ports on the back of the Spectrum Wi-Fi 6 router with the serial number. I had that. The router then provided my laptop with an IP address and gateway. I attempted to locate a web-based management portal. Hey, thanks, Mark Bates. Man, I had one of those massive lulls again. Thank you. I then called. Okay, so anyways, they got information on the router. And they stored the data off of it. On November 17th, 2022, Jack DeCour was interviewed by Sergeant Mike Van Leuven from the Idaho State Police at the ISP District 1 office. At that time, he provided his phone to Sergeant Van Leuven. The phone was to be extracted by Detective Dustin Taylor of the Coeur d'Alene Police Department. On November 18, 2022, while confirming Detective Taylor received the warrant, I was informed the phone was no longer at the Coeur d'Alene Police Department. Idaho State Police Lieutenant Paul Berger picked up the phone from Taylor and delivered it to the Spokane County Sheriff's Office, where investigative analysis Vince Jimmo received it. On November 19, 2022, Idaho State Police Detective Richardson retrieved the phone from the forensic lab and delivered the phone to DeCour's mother per the attorney's wishes. On November 21st, Detective Anderson of the Idaho State Police provided Sergeant Van Leuven with USB drive containing the extraction. So they got all the information off of his phone. Alright. We'll check this one out. On 11/13/2022, Dylan Mortensen was interviewed in regard to the homicide investigation at 1122 King Road. Dylan said she was a resident of the house where the incident occurred. Dylan said she was at the Sigma Chi party at around 10:30 hours. Was Dylan? I don't think Dylan was at. Wasn't that Bethany Funk that was at the Sigma Chi party? At around 10:30 hours on 11/12, where she was drinking. Dylan said she went to Allie's house. Dylan said she believed She arrived home between 12:30 and 1 a.m. on 11/13. Dylan said she thought Bethany arrived home at around 20 minutes after she arrived. Dylan said she believed Maddie and Kaylee arrived home at around 1:30 or 2. It was really close to 2 o'clock. Dylan said, said up to this, nothing weird had happened during the night. Dylan said she and her friend, Lake, came home, followed by Bethany from Sigma Chi. Dylan said Lake lived at the Pi Beta Phi house and Bethany was her roommate at the residence. Dylan said when Maddie Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez came home from the corner club at the same time and everyone went to bed. That's not really... When Maddie Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez came home from the corner club at the same time and everyone went to bed. Well, they went up to Kaylee's room first, and then Dylan was asked about the layout of her house. Dylan said Kaylee's room was directly above her room. That's not accurate either. I don't know, I think Dylan's, but that's not accurate. The room above, I think that's what made her confused or something. Some of the comments she made, because above Dylan is Madison Mogan's room. It's right above her. This isn't accurate here. Dylan was asked about the layout of her house. Dylan said Kaylee's room was directly above her room. Dylan said she lived on the second floor and Kaylee lived on the third floor. Dylan said Kaylee and Maddie both lived upstairs on the third floor in separate rooms. Dylan said Xana lived closest to the bathroom on the second floor and Bethany lived on the first floor. I mean, some of that stuff's accurate, but she's definitely not below Kaylee's room. I wonder if she just... maybe she never actually realized it because she's not spatially aware, When asked about Murphy, Dylan said it was a dog owned in common between Kaylee and her ex-boyfriend, Jack. Dylan said there were no apparent issues between Kaylee and Jack. Dylan said Maddie had a boyfriend named Jake, who was in Boise at the time of the incident. Dylan indicated Xana was dating Ethan Chapin, who was in the room with her at the time of the incident. Yeah, so she had that right, but she messed up on that a different time. Dylan did not know of anyone who would want to hurt Ethan. Let's see, when she was asked, Dylan asked if she saw any cars in the area that should not be there. Dylan said no. No, I was not really looking at that. Dylan said she woke up at around 4 o'clock in the morning where she could hear Kaylee and Murphy the dog dancing. Dylan said she knew... Is this the same document that we already have, or is this different? Seems like it's different, sort of. It was Kaylee because she recognized her voice and could hear Murphy barking. Dylan said she heard Kaylee go upstairs and say, "There's someone here." Dylan said, though she heard Kaylee run back down the stairs, Dylan said Kaylee sounded scared when she made this statement. But that's not Kaylee who said that. Yeah, we're in one of those massive lulls, you guys. This is where it's like hard to keep going along. Dylan said she believed the suspect was white, but did not remember eyebrow color. See, I think some of this is different. Let's see. When asked again about the series of events, Dylan said she opened the door when she cried out to Kaylee, then closed the door because she was scared. Dylan said she then opened the door again and heard who she thought was Kaylee, but could have been Xana, crying in the bathroom. Dylan said she then heard a man's voice say, "It's okay, I'm gonna help you." Dylan said it was weird because the statement was not in a nice way, and the voice was one she had never heard before. Dylan said she called out to Kaylee again, and there was no crying after. And there was no crying after. She did not know what happened after that. Dylan said she opened the door again, and the guy is right there. Dylan described the man as approximately her height, or a few inches taller, not skinny, but athletic build. Dylan said the suspect was wearing all black with mask that covered just his forehead and goes around his face. Dylan showed with her hands. The mask exposed the nose but covered the mouth area. Dylan said she believed the suspect was white but did not remember eyebrow color or what his eyes looked like. Dylan said when she saw the suspect, he saw her and just left. Dylan said she believed he was holding something near his stomach or belt line. Dylan used both hands to point straight out from her abdomen. Dylan then moved her hands apart and back together to simulate a bulge. Dylan said the unknown object had an arrow shape. Dylan seemed really unsure and said she was tired during the event. Dylan was asked how long she believed it was from the time Kaylee said, "Someone is here," to when she saw the suspect. Dylan said she thought it was about 10 or 20 minutes. But I think it was probably like 3 or 4, and that's just what her memory is. Dylan went on to say she was in and out of it. It can't be 20 minutes, by the way. And she did not fully remember the incident. Dylan was asked where the suspect was at in the residence when Dylan saw him. Dylan said the suspect was between her bedroom door and the kitchen. Dylan said she remembered watching the suspect go out the kitchen door and leave. Dylan said at the time she closed her door and locked it as fast as she could. Dylan said the suspect did not walk towards her or say anything. Dylan said once the suspect left, she immediately called Bethany. Dylan said Bethany informed her she heard a sound that sounded like firework. Dylan then said she told Bethany she called everyone and they're not answering. Dylan said she was in and out of it and believed everyone was just asleep. Dylan said she then went to Bethany's room, locked the door, and went to bed. Well, anyways, I think I'm going to take off. Yeah, I just can't. I got to go work. I'm going to get working on the Brown Town. I'm getting close to finish with that. The Brown University shooting. Maybe we'll just do a whole show on this tomorrow. I don't know what he did with the knife. I mean, I have all kinds of theories. He buried it, then he picked it up again and put it somewhere else later. So, I'm going to thank, let's see, we got, let's see, nope, not today or tomorrow. New member, then Mallory Beavers, Timothy Cecil, Adrian Blank, then we had the mom of Carson Hockey, then Elaine Talling, 61 months, then Chris O'Connell, then Elaine Talling, then we had Christopher Marshburn, and then we had Mallory Beavers, Well, you know, Carl, if you wanted to do one, you would just start it yourself. You know what I mean? So, instead of having somebody else do it. Mallory Beavers. Then we have Notorious Nance. Notorious Nance has 71 months. I think she's right there with Linda Howell. What are you at, Linda Howell? Aren't you something like that? Like 71 or 2? I think you hold the record. You know, I'm not sure where Lanky Tor is, but she's got to be up there too. Oh, Jessica Schubach, 72. Look at that. So we got 72 for Schubach and Linda Howell, and 71 months for Notorious Nance. I think Zozo's like 70, right? I've been okay. Kind of sleepy. I you know what? I get sort of tired when nobody's chatting and, you know, there's no, you know, like no super chats or anything. It's just sort of like, after a while, you're like, man, I'm just reading and reading and reading and reading and reading, and it's like, what's the point, you know? Yeah, but especially when the chat's not moving. You know, like earlier it was just ding, 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 ding. Everybody's typing, and then it gets really slow. Damn what? Let's see. Oh yeah, and that was over at Notorious Nance, 71 months. Then the mom of Carson Hockey, Mary Buckles, Chris Stew, Gloria Batari, Tamsters, then Tamster gifted 5, then Chris O'Connell gifted 5, then Joel Burnt, John Wolf, let's see, Whaley Awesome, Timothy Cecil, Mama for Coffee, and then Chris O'Connell gifted 5, then we had Sandy Shirley, Mom for Coffee became a new member, Sassy Squatch gifted 1, Dennis, the agent, new member, then Tamsters, Bella Marie, Chris O'Connell, Shelley Pink, and Bella Marie all gifted 1 membership. Then Paul Marino gifted 1, Carol Silva gifted 1, Jeffrey Sedal gifted 1, Sarah Reasons, Mom for Coffee, Chris O'Connell, again, Whiskey Boots, and Chris O'Connell again gifted 5. Sassy Squatch, Bella Marie, then I gifted 5. Then Nothing But Love, Mark Bates, Sarah with, and H Dishes. And then, whoa, there's Marty's Bar and Grill. Wow. Well, thank you. Now let me just check something out, because I think down here there was, maybe we can do a search in these. Let's see, Control Shift F. Let's see, all in let's see, all PDF files in this location, J, go down here, YouTube videos, working on, Koberger, '30th. Is that right? Yeah. All right. So what? Let's see. DoorDash, right? Is that one word? DoorDash. Oh yeah. Allow. It's checking every single page. Oh, let's see what we got here. On December 6, 2022, applied and was granted a warrant for all information in DoorDash. On December 6th, at approximately, they got warrant was served. On December 7th, I received an email from DoorDash containing the data requested. I completed the warrant return. God, I wonder if where's that search? There's more here. On December 6th, at approximately, the warrant was served. I think that's the same. Oh, it's all the same. It's only mentioned one time. All right, what do you want? What do you want to look up in here? What's a word? What do you want me to look up? I think I remember him saying he checked them. Well, 2026 is coming up. MNG 9854. Should be a better one. What are you guys talking about in here? It seems so depressing. Yeah, 2025 wasn't the greatest. Like Blue. Didn't Blue go when did he die anyway? I don't celebrate the date that he died, so I don't really. I think it was like either the end of like it was in the winter time. I don't know if it was January or what, but I guess I could see. Here, let's see. Here, let me see if I can find filters, visibility, members. Wasn't it? Oh, I thought it was a members only. Okay, it was a live members only. There you go. No, hold on. Visibility, members. That's right. Blue. Oh, that was right. Okay, that was November 20. That was 2024. So November 24th. Man, that's already been that long. Yeah? Jeez, that's wild. Like Blue died a year, 13 months ago. That's crazy. Would you guys think that at all? That doesn't feel like that. It feels like it was just like 6 months ago, maybe. Yeah, sorry for anybody who lost parents and family members this last year. That sucks. Yep, I like Chihuahuas too. Ah, we have to forget it. Yeah, at least we got that, Jessica. At least we got that. I think this next year is going to be good. you know. Other than unseen forces out there. It should be a good year. Oh, sorry to hear that, Sarah. With an H, dishes. Well, it's next year. Well, it's supposed to be... Aren't there reductions this tax year? Like, when we file taxes? I don't know. But hopefully next year, and maybe we can get the interest rate down on mortgages. And, you know, I don't know. You guys remember when Jimmy Carter was president? Mortgage rates were like 15%. It was insane. It was like... Could you imagine? I think it was something like, let's see, what were the mortgage rates when Carter was president? Oh, yeah, look at it. Let's see. Average 30-year fixed mortgage rate surged dramatically due to high inflation. It started at 8.85% in 1977 and peaked to 16.6% in 1981. And then Reagan came in and boom, fixed it all. Can you imagine that, though? My God. So that means Carter and Biden have been the most ridiculous inflation presidents there ever was. Started at 8.85, and then it rose to 11.2 in 79, and then 1980 got up to 13.74. I mean, how do you even buy a house at that rate? My God, that's just crazy. That means you're paying, like you buy a house for $50,000, you're going to pay $400,000 or something by the time you're done. I mean, I don't know if it's that high, but... Oh, losing your father. Mine passed 4 years ago. And yeah. I think it'd be really tough if, like, you lose a parent and they pass away unexpectedly. I think it's like, you know, if you have a parent that's sick for a long time and, you know, it's almost like, seems like they wouldn't suffer anymore or something like that. It's difficult, but I bet you it's nowhere near as hard as losing just anybody. Like, you know, like I just have my brother. He was totally unexpected. And if you lost a parent unexpectedly, like just out of nowhere, they just die. You know, I think that's where it gets really hard. Yeah, I think that's what Zozo had to go through. Because it's just kind of like you didn't really get to resolve anything. You know, like if they have this long illness, you can talk with them and sort of, you know, kind of slowly say your goodbyes or whatever over the year, you know, whatever, how long it is, and, you know, talk about memories and things. But if somebody dies suddenly, there's just none of that happens. You know, it's just done. It sucks. One thing I always just say is every single person that's ever lived has died at some point, you know, so it's like, you know, everybody does die at some point, and some are more random, some take longer. Doesn't make it any easier. It's just sort of a thought to have, you know. Well, we have the nicest. My chat is I would say, like, the regular freaks are, you know, the nicest people. That's why a lot of people, when they come in here, they always say, man, you have such cool... The only problem is, you know, I don't do the conspiracy stuff. I think that's like the biggest problem that I have is But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to change and start doing conspiracies. Because I think it'd be, I don't even think I could sleep at night knowing, like these other YouTubers, you know, they literally trick people every day, and that's their gig. I mean, how does that feel good? You know that they sit around just going, yeah, Koberger, of course he did it, you know, but you know, of course he did it. Yeah, I mean, if there is a conspiracy and I see it, I might say something. And but they just don't really exist very often. It's like, I'd say conspiracies maybe make up less than 1% of any known incident that happens out there. What the heck? Look at that, you guys. What's going on with Carl here? Did you hit the right button there? I don't think I've ever had 50 gifted before. That's crazy. Hey, thanks, man. That's going to get a lot of new freaks in here. Well, when? Well, thank you, Carl. Happy New Year to yourself. Yeah, well, don't do it. MNG, just, you know, I've had really bad years myself. Some years that just suck. You know, my worst year ever, like just in terms of, you know, I would say like 1991, you know. It's like my brother died in 86, but it, you know, I never felt great for years and years, but I remember just like, you know, I finally got out of college. I took way too many classes, and I was working at Nordstrom's, but I was like a stock person. You know, I have a degree, and I'm in the back just doing stock stuff, you know, stocking the shit. And man, then I remember, like, I don't know if we got laid off or what happened, but then I worked for like a trucking broker thing that I had no business being at. Got fired from that one. And then I was just so down and out. I was just like, what the hell am I going to do, you know? And my mom said, I've told the story to the regular freaks, but my mom said, Gray, you need a skill, you know? And it was weird, too, because I was so down and out. You know, but my mom, just her saying that, you need a skill that other people want. And why don't you look up and see where you can, well, we'll pay for you to go to like a vocational school or something. Even after I already have a degree. And that sort of got me a whole different, like a different perspective. I got kind of excited. You know, and then for 6 months I was in this school for 8 hours a day for microcomputer applications specialist. And guess what? That 6 month, 8 hours a day little school I went changed my entire life trajectory. Isn't that wild? College didn't do shit, you know. It was just that one little thing, is learning how to use computers and all that, and that's all I do now. Isn't that weird? Crazy, right? And that, I mean, I've had other shitty, you know. That's just one that I remember a lot, because it was just, you're just kind of like, what am I going to do here? I'm just so, there's nothing to do. Can't do anything. Yeah, and that was kind of neat, though, just having, it's weird. I think a lot of times it just takes that one little something to get you to see something a little differently. Sometimes, you know? Not all the time. Yeah, I think they need to go back to vocational schools and all kinds of you know, like have welding and electricians and these kind of things. We're really starting to go away from that. AI is never going to replace welders, electricians, plumbers, any of that stuff, and those all get paid a shitload of money. Pardon the pun. Hey, when I was a lawyer, everybody, I got paid a shitload of money. You get it? Yeah. I have a trade degree and a college degree. College degree didn't do shit. Yeah, exactly. I know. Right. What was your trade in? What did you get the trade degree in? I would actually tell parents to look into alternatives than college. Forget college, man. Just screw it. Get them into a place that is needed. You know, unless they go to college for like, you know, one of the sciences or computer science, something like that. It actually means something when you're done. All this other crap, you know, the liberal arts things, it doesn't go anywhere, man. It is a complete waste of money and time. You know, well, I'm going to be a history teacher. Let's see, we got a class of 60 people, and they're all going to be history teachers, and the other school has it's not happening. Yes, that's just not happening at all. Yeah, sure. Well, medical school's different, Lisa. Jeez, that's the one you came up with. Oh, you do HVAC. Sweet. So that's what you do, Gray. I don't know what that means. And thanks again up there, Carl. That was so kind of you. Thank you. Made a big difference. Yeah, I used to have some nice clothes though when I worked at Nordstrom's. I knew how to get, you know, I did get to sell during like the holidays or something. But it's like total dog eat dog, shark. You know, you're working with somebody and then all of a sudden one of the main people just sort of linger over and they kind of steal your, you know, it's just weird how they do it. Oh, you're a master plumber? Yeah, let's see. Yep, plus master plumber. Wow, that's sweet. Well, I'm trying to get my kid into plumbing, you know, a plumbing program, but it's really difficult over here. It's crazy. That's what we're trying to get him in. That's exactly what we want him to do. So you went into a 5-year plumbing program? No, they make way more than 40 an hour. Yeah. That's the first rate. Like if you go to the plumbing, you get $40 an hour right out of the chute. Once you become, you're done, you're not an apprentice anymore. See, they have these programs here in Portland where you make like $25 an hour starting off as an apprentice while you're in school. And then each year you get raises, and then when you're done, it's 40 something. And people make like, so you took like a 4-year apprenticeship school somewhere? Yeah, actually, I think that's what that is, right? Yeah. Let me see if let me show you what the one in Portland is. It's kind of interesting. I think it's Area 1 Plumbing. Where is this? Yeah, right here. Right there, this thing. And then you go to the... well, this is the list. See, we keep trying to get he's way up there. Like, see, he's right here near the top. And look at all the people below him there. I mean, that's a ton of people below where he is. But these people are having a hard time getting in anything, too. So we got him up there with the points to get in there, but it's been kind of difficult. Let's see, what does it say down here, though? There was some apprenticeship training. I think it was... Okay, where the heck is it? Air plumber. I used to be able to get around in here. Ranking information. Oh yeah, so this is how you can get extra points when you get into this. Try to get into the program right there. I think you can just go to the school too. I don't know where the salary part is. It's in there. I've seen it. What is that? Now, anyways. I don't know where the actual part is. I just remember seeing it was like 40 is what you start at. Yeah, so why would you have your kid go to a school and take gender studies when you can become a plumber and be like rich in 10 years, you know? It's crazy. Oh yeah, union plumber for 60 years. You have a master in 2 states. No one test was... So one test was 8 hours long. Wow. What do you do in those tests? I mean, you just sit there and answer questions about pipes and different things, elements. And... Yeah, very cool. Well, thanks for giving me... 2 hours worth of your pay for the gifted memberships there, Carl. That's very kind of you. Are you still there, Chris O'Connell? I saw that you were sad earlier. I hope you're... Oh wow, so you're like doing the big stuff. I really only want my kid to do it so I can just call him up and say, hey, can you come over and... I'm just kidding. Did you hear Gray? What a bastard. He only wants his kid to be a plumber so he can have free plumbing work. No. I want him to be a plumber because... Look at my kid... You know, right now he still works at a deli and one of like a Safeway or whatever it is, and he works his ass off. Like he is one of those people that's always on time. He always, he wins the employee of the month type stuff. He's always works extra, does everything, works hard the whole day, etc. So I figure someone like that, you know, could easily just absolutely kick ass if he was ever made it into the plumbing program. And I think it would just be... Yeah, I mean, I think it would just change his whole life around, really. I mean, once you get into there and you basically, once you become a journeyman plumber, electrician, welder, etc., you're sort of like being a nurse, you know, where you can just write your own ticket. You go wherever the hell you want to go, and you can probably find work. Yeah, well, maybe look into some kind of programs out there, MNG. See if you can, whatever you might be interested in. Maybe there's some other things that you can do. A lot of times they have, like, you know, financial aid and like it's almost free to go to some of these schools to learn something. I think the government should do more in terms of like education programs for people that are chronically, like, let's say you're a chronically unemployed person. They should have something where they can teach you skills and then have sort of a partnership with businesses where they get a tax break for a while as you kind of get into that industry and get better and better and better. But the government maybe helps, with the help of these industry people, help you learn the skills that they need, you know? And then they get a tax break for a while because they're part of the program. So it's kind of like a win-win-win-win. But they just don't, it's just stupid how we do stuff, you know? Now, here's that Kolb's guy again. Always got something crazy to say. Yeah. I don't think, you know what I wouldn't want to ever be? Are the people who built, like, the Empire State Building. I don't want to be one of those people. I don't like heights that much. I wouldn't want to be standing out on a scaffold, you know, where you just, wind blows a little extra today and you're gone. You're out of here. Or dams. Why wouldn't you want to work on a dam? Maybe it's got the same thing. Well, bad news, though, with, Camila was found. I'd like to know the precise location. That'd be sort of interesting. But I appreciate everybody hanging out and talking for a while here. Who are you talking about? Lisa? Who are you talking about? No, I wouldn't want to work on the Golden State Bridge. Oh, your nephew? What does he do? Yeah. All right. You must be on a little bit of rewind. Oh, he's a baseball player. Is he pretty good? Is he going to be a professional, you think? Oh, he's dating a billionaire's daughter. Oh. Okay. So, once they stop dating, boy, whew, wow. My granddaughter's husband is a plumber. I will do, Notorious Nance. You still have the same phone number and everything? Maybe I'll call you up here the next few days. See what's going on. They met on Snapchat. Send me a picture. Let me see these people, Lisa. I won't put it on the show, but I want to see this couple. Send me a picture. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I think so, Timothy. I think you can get in there easy, too, with your already having another, that's huge for getting into those programs, having another trade already under your belt, you know, like you've already got one. So you got the HVAC in there, you can just go straight in. Is he a good baseball player, though? Will he make it? Anyways. Oh, man, I'm tired. Just checking. Did you see this site of burning bush landscaping? Yeah, we've done it all, man. We already saw it the first day. Yeah, we got the whole thing figured out, man. Should probably watch every once in a while. You know? Yeah. Like we were looking at this the first day, but I was thinking, man, they must have checked that. Apparently not. And if you look right here, this is the house. And then there's this little path right there that goes straight over here, and then you just go over here, and that's it. So that's probably, since they're not on any other cameras, that would make the most sense, that they just went right this direction through. But yeah, we've already gone over all that. Yeah, she passed away, Jack. She killed herself. Took her own life. They found her earlier. That's what the body that was found, that's what the title of the video says. Where you been, Jack? We went over that. We spent an hour and a half going over it. Yeah, they're probably examining the scene. They probably have a tent over her, collecting everything they can. They said they hadn't picked up the gun yet or touched it. They could see it there. This just sucks, the whole thing. Alright, you guys. Well, thank you for being here, etc. Thanks for hanging out at the end, doing chatting. Sorry for everybody's losses out there. It really sucks. But you know what, man? We're coming up to a new year. Hopefully this next year will be better. Alright? Make sure to hit that like button on the way out the door. And thank you very much for everybody who helped support the channel. I thanked everybody else. Everybody already, but let me we'll say Carl and Marty's Bar and Grill and Carl right at the end there, both of you guys. So thank you very much, really appreciate it. And guess what tomorrow is, you guys? Donation night. We have that last push, and we'll see what we can do. All right, see what we can do tomorrow. It makes all the sense in the world, soundboard. Makes all the sense in the world. Go start a conspiracy channel, though. I'm sure you'll do really well. Start it off by saying, "This doesn't make sense." Have arrows pointing at something. Have your face on the screen and go, "Wow!" You know, have a weird face, and boy, you're going to really do well. You're going to do great. You're going to do great. All right. Well, anyways, thanks, everybody, for being here. We'll see you tomorrow, okay? So thanks again for watching, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person.
Not even one, Ray! Not even
crime
one.
Dissector, flag rejector, I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if
Don't
you
be
try
sad,
and play me
Chris
like an
O'Connell.
old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grillo's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I mean it. Than a specter with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I have a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm a bartender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send you on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
Thank you for watching Gray Hughes Investigates, where we use logic, reason, and common sense to figure out true crime cases. Thank you all very much for watching. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
Bye. See you around.
Oh yeah, and if I don't, for those of you I don't see tomorrow, have a great New Year. Hopefully you guys will be here for our donation night. Before New Year's, maybe I'll start it earlier tomorrow. What do you guys, maybe at like 5:30 or so. What do you guys think? Will that work? Or is 6 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock my time. Maybe 6:15. Well, maybe 6:20. Well, maybe 6:30. Well, maybe 6:35. Maybe that, or 6. We'll do, how about 6 o'clock tomorrow? All right, you guys. Thank you for being here.
Bye. See you around.
Stupid is being nice. You're an absolute moron. This guy may be like the dumbest person on the face of the earth.
All right, see you guys.